Just 6 days until the Iowa caucuses. It's January 15th. And last night, Nikki Haley held a town hall and said she not only wants Trump to remain on the ballot, but that she's going to beat him as well. So both Trump and DeSantis would likely disagree with that. But it does speak, Kevin, to the high stakes and the real competitive nature of the Iowa caucuses, less than 1 week away.
Yeah, I know we're not even out of Iowa yet, and a poll out of New Hampshire came out today. It had Trump up on Nikki Haley by 20 points. Donald Trump is out front by a long shot, and so I keep wondering, well, the best chance for DeSantis or Haley or Chris Christie or somebody to make a move is to have everyone else drop out and they win the support of everyone other than Donald Trump. And if you added up everybody else, then your numbers are at or above Donald Trump. But nobody really seems to be dropping out too much. Mike Pence, who's out, said vote for anyone but Trump. He goes, I like DeSantis, I like Haley, I'm friends with Chris Christie. I just don't think you should vote for Donald Trump. But it seems like you got to have some people drop out, and Ron DeSantis certainly was talking about no way. Rumors that I'm dropping out, it's a lie. It's not happening. Let's bring in David Dulio, director of the Center for Civic Engagement and political science professor at Oakland University. Good morning, David. How are you? Do we have you, David?
Yep.
Well, we're looking for David.
Hold on one second, Dave.
I think, you there, David?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get back to him. But Tom, so my point is, if DeSantis says he's not going to drop out, are they just saying that because nobody really drops out before Iowa? You wait and see, and then if the numbers aren't there, or maybe you do better than expected, and it gives you a resurgence.
Iowa is a huge priority for these candidates, but if you look back historically speaking, a lot of presidents won the election who did not win Iowa. I think, to me, if you got to go to Iowa, you got to go to New Hampshire, you got to go through South Carolina to make that final decision. But you're right. They've got to coalesce around one candidate because Trump is so far ahead.
Seems like it. All right, David Dulio, are you with us?
I am, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being here today. This Iowa caucuses, why do so many people hang in there when it seems like they're so far behind? Do they hope that they're going to strike fire suddenly and then they're going to get a bunch of new donor money, or do they just say, well, I've come this far, let's see what happens at least in Iowa?
Yeah, I think it's a few things, right? I mean, they've been doing this for months and months, if not years, and to drop out before anybody casts a vote would seem to be maybe doing your donors a disservice. I think, too, that you hope to catch lightning in a bottle, which has happened in Iowa previously. I mean, I'd take you back to 2004 when everybody thought that Howard Dean was going to walk away with the Democratic nomination, and instead of winning in Iowa, he finishes third, and then, of course, goes on to scream into the television cameras, if folks remember that, and sink his bid. But funny things can happen in Iowa, and candidates, they don't have to win there, but if they can find some success, right, they can parlay that into success down the road. We have to remember that this is an iterative process, right, where we're going to go methodically through all these different contests, and maybe something changes, and as we saw in 2020 on the Democratic side, things can change on a dime, and with different developments and different performances. So for a lot of candidates, I think they think it's worth sticking in there.
Can DeSantis or Haley or Christie, can any of them catch Donald Trump without the others getting out of the race and them winning over their supporters?
No. This is an unusual dynamic in presidential primaries, right, where you've got this former president who's running again and remains very popular with certainly a large segment of the Republican primary electorate, and you've got some folks that are against him, right? And really the only way for the non-Trump backers to stop him is to coalesce around one alternative, as you guys were talking about at the top.
So there's a pretty intense rivalry right now when you look at, Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley for the second position in Iowa, and it seems like it's a, significant strategic battle that they're both kind of engaging in within this party to kind of get that second place spot. With the fierce competition for second place, what does that say about what might happen? Let's say it goes to South Carolina or New Hampshire, goes through down the road. Do you think that there's going to be a point where a Haley or a DeSantis bows out and says, all right, listen, if you win over Trump, select me as your VP, or there's some type of game planning going on here to win over, to beat Trump in the primary?
Well, that would not surprise me in the least. I think that there are always possibilities like that, right? And I think it's also possible that somebody like DeSantis bows out and throws his support behind Trump. To maybe he's looking at something in a Trump administration. I mean, it'd be a tough thing to give up governor of Florida, but who knows? As you both know, never say never in politics.
Trump made the comment, he said, listen, quote, we can put this to bed after Iowa, suggesting he's pretty confident that it's going to be a blowout in his caucuses. Same thing is going to happen in New Hampshire, that kind of thing. Does that statement influence, supporter turnout, do you think? Or does it hurt it if you're a supporter of DeSantis or Nikki Haley?
Well, take Iowa, for instance. The weather reports are that it's going to be really cold on caucus night, and it takes a lot of motivation, as we know here in Michigan, right? On some cold winter nights, it takes a lot of motivation to go out and do something in the bitter cold. So I think that favors the candidate whose supporters are really motivated, and that's clearly the Trump folks. I wonder if that holds for somebody who's sort of lukewarm on either of them, and if they just say, to heck with it, Trump's going to win anyway.
We have a minute left here, but do you think these candidates hang in longer than they might have, hoping that the Supreme Court keeps Trump's name off the ballot, or hoping that Trump gets convicted on some of these in some of these cases that he's charged in?
Well, that's another element that we've never seen before, right? I mean, I think that's entirely possible, right? I mean, somebody wants to position themselves so that if something crazy, as if we haven't seen that already, if something even crazier happens, and then they're left standing to grab the nomination and move forward. I think that's a distinct possibility, sure.
Well, we're going to see what happens. I know there's another case today in D.C. at 9:30. The three-judge panel is going to listen to some arguments in Washington, D.C. regarding Donald Trump and his immunity claims and all that kind of stuff. We'll find out. Always appreciate you coming on the program. Dave Dulio, political science professor at Oakland University. Dave, good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Good to talk to you too. Thanks.
All right, have a good one. We will take a quick break. Kevin Dietz and myself, Tom Jordan, are returning right after this. This is 760 W.